Okay, everyone. This video is to discuss how to search for article and also read the article and give a summary and maybe find the potential topic. Okay. So, for example, recently I've been quite interested in the cell phone use in especially in class. So this is scholargoogle.com and let me type in the keyword, right? So cell phone in class. And suppose I want to, custom the range. I think 2010 is a good year. So 2000 year and onward, right? It's more recent studies. And let's go through those studies. And I found a couple of studies are quite interesting. So, for example, this one, the relationship between cell phone use, academic performance, anxiety, and satisfaction with life in college students. Hey, that sounds interesting, right? Another one is this, the relationship between cell phone use and academic performance in the sample of a U.S. College student. Okay. The rest are probably somehow somewhat related, but I think these two studies are especially interested to me. Um, See, I can I can further do some related research. See this here, cited by 151. That means that this study has been cited by so many studies. So I want to see more related studies. I can just click on this one. And again, for these studies, I found a couple that are interesting. So this one, the brain in your pocket, evidence that smartphones are used to supplant thinking, kind of like diminish, reduce. Uh, and also this one, relationships among smartphone addiction, stress, academic performance, and satisfaction in life. Those are interesting. And guess what? These four studies, they all imply that the more we use smartphones or just cell phones, this kind of technologies, the lower our students' academic performance. So you wonder why so many teachers, me included, um, do not like students use a cell phone in class. At least just refrain yourself, control yourself, the impulsivity of using this the cell phone in class. Pay more attention, okay? But this just say I download this for study because I want to see those links. That means that those are 4 articles. 4 articles I can download. So I download these 4 articles. And let me just check. Suppose I am especially interested in this one by Barr et al. So now you have this study at hand. The first thing you do actually is to get the reference. Now you can just look at this page and come out this reference, or you can go to here. So you can click on site, and this is APA. Of course, I told you scholargoogle.com not necessarily give the most correct APA citation on the references, but this one looks quite good. Okay, so you can copy and paste, right? And you download this for article. Now, when you have an article at hand, the first thing you want to see to read, of course, is the abstract. So you just glance through it really quick, okay? You might came across some terms that you are not really familiar with, but that's okay because all you want to read will be their maybe hypothesis and also their result. Now, they say 3 studies. So let's take a look at this kind of studies. What kind of studies are they? Are they experiment? Correlational survey, right? To judge what kind of studies are they, just take a look at them. This is study 1. Take a look at this is an overview. So they say, have we seen any research the experimental design? I guess not. So it seems it's correlational. And when we look at the method, right, participants and then measures, right, and those are describing measures. Smartphone use, answer a set of demographic questions, ask to indicate whether they own a cell phone or a smartphone, and then result. So based on what we see, we know this is a correlation. It's just survey. Okay. And the result, we can skip it for now. And then study 2, the same method. Okay, the same thing. We go through the method. And again, participants measures cognitive style measure include 3 problems. So we know this is just questions. Smartphone and computer use, those must be just questions, and then result. So again, this is survey correlation study. And of course, each small study has its own discussion, but we don't have to go into detail right now. Okay, study 3. Let's move. The overview is long, but let's see the method. Participants and the measures again, right? And smartphone use, boredom proneness, and grade point average, and then result again. So all these 3 studies are just correlational. And correlation, though, as we said, is not causation, so that's the limitation, and definitely they are going to mention that. Okay, so after those small discussions in each studies, you came across this general discussion, some big discussion. Now, what you want to focus is the first paragraph. Usually, if summarize the studies. Now, we know the general idea of this study already. Let's take a look. In this general discussion, they usually mention their limitations. Okay. All right. So now we have these general ideas. Let's go to the summary of, write a summary of this reference. So take a look at this. So suppose I want to do a cell phone study, right? This is a reference. I just copy and paste it from the scholargoogle.com, right? Now, this is the brief summary, about 50 words, right? So according to those people, 2015, in the way you cite a study will be like this, okay? You give the last name and then the year, okay? Do not mention the title of the article or the title of the journal, anything. Just the last name and the year, okay? And there are different ways of citing the article. You can usually I start with according to, right? But you also can say mention this last name, point it out, suggest, whatever. Okay, we went through this in the class already, so refer back to the lecture. All right, so according to this study, the more people rely on their smartphones, the less likely they will engage in analytical thinking. They found that people with smartphones are more likely to solve reasoning problems intuitively instead of effortful thinking, and are more likely to depend on smartphones. I guess I have to capitalize this one. Smartphones for quick and easy information, right? That's kind of like a general idea, okay? Now you'll notice I divide into 2 sentences, but I connect with they found, so that still this sentence, this 2 words they found indicate we're talking about the same study. Okay. All right. So this is a summary. And then I want to, based on this study, to conduct my own study. So I need to point out their limitation and then explain why I want to conduct a study, right? So I say, though this study has provided the downside of using smartphone technology, the research is correlational. They pointed out that an experiment to establish a causal relationship is needed. Therefore, we would like to conduct a study to address this issue. Quick and simple, right? There's a gap in the literature, and our study will address this gap. Okay.